Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remember blessed. Whenever you look my video, whenever you watch my video, share the video to all platforms. Share it to family and friends. Share it in your WhatsApp group so that people can get information on what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria, mainly against the Biafrans, against the Duduas, against the indigenous people in the contraption called Nigeria. I try as much as possible to set the record straight. I don't preach hate speech. I don't speak against people. I set the record straight. The only important thing I do here is to make sure that the plight of the people remains on the front burner and the world will know the true story of what is going on in the contraption called Nigeria. Remember, they will always change the narrative. The government will always try as much as possible to use the conventional media to change the narrative, but that I will not allow. In this platform, we'll set the record straight and we'll say it the way it is. Not preaching hate speech, not by talking down to anybody, but setting the record straight and bringing the information to the front burner and letting the world know the exact situation of things. Each time you watch my video, you can equally go to the comment section, put down your comments, say it the way you feel it. It's so welcome. You can criticize if you so desire, but do it constructively so that we can be able to learn from one another. That is why I'm here. And now, I'm going to share with you a very important video. I hope after watching the video from the beginning to the end, you're going to enjoy the video and you continue to stick around and be able to enjoy the rest videos that are going to be coming your way from time to time. Thank you so much for coming. Today, the video I'm going to share with you is a very important video.
Thank you. Have a nice day, Lagos.
Right, thank you very kindly, Abiola, for also contributing on the program. Let's have a legal perspective to this whole hulabaloo about Abba Kyari and Hushpuppi. We have a legal practitioner, Inibe, here who is joining us via Zoom for more insight on this issue. Mr. Inibe, thank you so much for joining us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So, what is the legal perspective to this Abba Kyari and Hushpuppi issue, plus the U.S.? Mr. Effiong, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you clearly.
Right, great. Give us a legal perspective to the Abba Kyari issue.
Now, you know, the problem that we have in this country fundamentally is the problem of accountability. We have a country where there is total absence of accountability. A country where impunity has become a national culture. You know, there is also the lack of shame. I want to make one point clear. The investigation into the conduct of Abba Kyari, the evidence that is required for him to be disciplined, need not be proved beyond reasonable doubt. That is only required for the purpose of prosecution regarding the criminal dimension of the allegations against him. But as regards his conduct as a police officer, the police need not find evidence beyond reasonable doubt. The mere fact that there was an act and evidence of impropriety, that there was clear attempt to aid or abet, or that he acted unethically and unprofessionally in aid of Hushpuppi, is sufficient for him to be dismissed from the police. So let us not say that if at the end of the so-called investigation, there is no irrefutable evidence or proof beyond reasonable doubt that Abba Kyari cannot be dismissed. At a minimum, the evidence that we have seen, if you have reviewed the investigation by the FBI, it is indicting, it is incriminating, it is conclusive, his conduct is indefensible. So I do not understand why the Police Service Commission is saying that they want to refer the matter further for investigation. That is commendable for the purpose of prosecution. But as regards the unethical nature, the impropriety, the unprofessionalism in his conduct, it is sufficient for him to be dismissed. Now, the powers of the Police Service Commission, under paragraph 30, part 1 of the 3rd schedule to the Constitution is clear. The Police Service Commission has disciplinary powers over all police officers in Nigeria, except the Inspector General of Police. And this has also been affirmed by the Court of Appeal in the recent dispute between the IG and the Police Service Commission over the hiring of 10,000 constables, where the Court of Appeal reaffirmed the powers of the Police Service Commission. So it is within their constitutional power, if you also look at Section 153, to insist that certain aspects of the investigation be looked into. But what I want Nigerians to understand is that if at the end of the day, as we are hearing, as reported in the media, that the Attorney General of the Federation said that the evidence is not enough for prosecution, Nigerians must at a minimum demand his dismissal on the basis of the impropriety, on the basis of the unprofessionalism, on the ethical issues that he has clearly been implicated for. Now, regarding the question of extradition, there is a dispute as to whether a formal extradition request has been made by the United States government or not. Some clarity needs to be offered in that regard. But for whatever it is worth, what is clear is that there is no seriousness to rid the police institution of corruption. And don't forget, the department that investigated or is investigating Abba Kyari is about the apex investigative department within the police. It is a place that I have been to. It is headed by a Deputy Inspector General of Police. So when you have an AIG investigating Abba Kyari and loopholes is found in that investigation, that shows you that there is a fundamental flaw in the police as an institution. In reality, the truth that we must admit is that Abba Kyari is just an example of what has become a culture in the police. Abba Kyari's case is not isolated. Every single day in this country, policemen are killing Nigerians, policemen are extorting Nigerians, policemen are violating the law, policemen are involved in robbery.
Mr.
People on a daily basis.
Mr.
The president promised to come after the answers.
Yeah.
Till date, no seriousness has been made. So when we are talking about Abba Kyari, let us not pretend that this is some isolated case that that all attention has to be focused on. The reality is that there is no seriousness to reform the police as of today. Right,
Mr. Effiong, is that to say that you see this particular issue as an indictment, on the police not being able to proficiently or efficiently investigate one of their own?
Look, ask any lawyer who is involved in criminal litigation. The police in Nigeria, unfortunately, is about the worst in the world, at least to my knowledge, in terms of investigation. They hardly investigate anything. I'm telling you the honest truth. So when you now have this kind of embarrassment, it is evidence of what we lawyers encounter on a daily basis. Go and look at the investigation that the police do in cases. Sometimes they deliberately sabotage investigation. And you have a high-ranking officer going to attend the wedding of the son of the IG, a man that is under suspension, a man that is under investigation, and he took pictures and posted on Facebook, and you say we are a serious country. Look at in Canada. You had Madu, the Attorney General in one of the districts in Canada, suspended for merely calling the police over a traffic fine. You have Boris Johnson currently facing serious requests to resign by the UK Parliament for what? Attending a party during COVID-19 lockdown. These are countries that have regard for civilization. And we still continue to go as if Nigeria is disconnected from the world. So what I'm saying in essence is that Abba Kyari is only a demonstration, it's a manifestation of the decay in the police. His case is an indictment on the IG, it is an indictment on every officer in the police, because they must take collective responsibility. And the president shouldn't just sit there and say, oh, this doesn't matter, because he promised reform. As we speak, what has been done to ensure that we no longer have reoccurrence of such cases? Absolutely nothing. What Abba Kyari did is what most policemen are doing in this country on a daily basis. On a daily basis. Nothing has been done. Policemen who are killing Nigerians, how many have been arrested? Policemen who are collecting money from criminal suspects, how many have been arrested? How many have been dismissed? So this is also an indictment not only on the police, it is an indictment on the National Assembly, it is an indictment on the president of the country, it is an indictment on the political leadership.
Right,
Mr. And the world is laughing at us. The world is laughing at us.
Mr. Effiong, before I bring it back to my guest in the studio, maybe they have one or two questions to ask you either way. But then I'd like to hear from you, because the entire world is watching. They want to see what is going to come out of this whole hulabaloo. What would you like to see at the end of the day?
At a minimum, Abba Kyari must, I'm saying must, and this is without prejudice to his constitutional presumption of innocence, which is only applicable as it relates to criminal prosecution. But I have said that regarding his conduct, at the minimum, Abba Kyari must be dismissed from the police. He must be dismissed. Let us stop this hero worship of a super cop. If the police is unable to train officers who can tackle kidnapping, then let them come out and say so. Abba Kyari must be dismissed, and if the U.S. government has made a request for his extradition, he must be extradited to the U.S. for prosecution. And secondly, and more fundamentally, beyond Abba Kyari, the president of the country should not allow his tenure to end without taking practical measures to reform the police. Because while we are here discussing Abba Kyari, at this moment as I'm talking to you, policemen are on various checkpoints extorting Nigerians, committing the same criminality that Abba Kyari is being questioned for, without any form of accountability. So if Abba Kyari's case is going to be the trigger for the much-awaited reform in the police, then it is long overdue. The president promised this during NSAS. Nothing absolutely has been done. Absolutely nothing has been done.
I want you to clear something.
6 years.
Mr. Referee, I want you to clear something. You said he must be dismissed. But what if, it looks like in your own assessments, you're kind of concluding that he's probably guilty of some of these allegations. But what if it comes out clean? Can it retain his position? Can it be promoted over all of this if and when it comes out clean?
No, I started by saying that let us not confuse the issues. There is the allegations that are criminal in nature, the ones that may warrant prosecution at the end of investigation. There is the other aspect that raises question as to his conduct as a police officer. Ethical question. When you have a police officer sending picture of a suspect he has arrested to Hushpuppi while the person is in custody, clearly facilitating the arrest of another person who also committed a crime. When you have a police officer collecting money from Hushpuppi and he later came out to say, oh, it was meant for a tailor, wanted to help him buy clothes, and all sort of frivolous excuses. These are conduct that are below bar, except the police is saying, let me tell you this, and that is the last point I want to make. If at the end of the day, Abba Kyari is exonerated, Abba Kyari is not dismissed, and possibly prosecuted, it would have been an official affirmation, an official confirmation by the Nigerian government and by the police that the Nigerian police is irredeemable. It's as clear as that. FBI cannot make an investigation and conclude. And you say it is worthless. Why has Hushpuppi not challenged the evidence against him? Why? Why have they not challenged the evidence against him? Because that is a country that before they come out to arrest you, they have done their job. We are talking about FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Right.
You get the point. So there is no way that this can be concluded with a different verdict. It is either they want to shield him, as they have been shielding others, or they want to give a clear indication that his conduct is reprehensible and must be sanctioned. But whichever way it goes, the Nigerian people have already formed their opinion. The public have already reached a verdict that this conduct by a police officer is unacceptable, is reprehensible, and must be sanctioned. Simply sit there. They are not too worried about it.
Right. Mr. Referent, just hang on a bit until they ask me to allow you to go, because we might still definitely come back to you on this. But let me take this back to the studio to Adewale. Well, show me your friend. I'll tell you who you are. Is that the case you've seen here?
Yeah. For me, I think Abba Kyari is an errand boy within the police. I don't think he acted alone. If he acted alone, it would have been very easy to pick him up and then deal with him. And that's why most of the policemen you see on the streets collecting money and all that, I don't think they are acting alone, because police commissioners pass through the same way and they see them. So it looks like a ring, a criminal cell. And like he said, Abba Kyari is just a pawn, in the chess game of rocks that is associated with Nigerian police. So we should be looking at a complete overhaul of the Nigerian police beyond the personality of Abba Kyari. The police has a lot of challenges. Poor pay, corruption, nepotism, a lot of things. And that's why the Police Service Commission has a lot of job, not just a question of Abba Kyari. It needs to go. There's the need for institutional reform. And I think that is where we need to go, not just talking about Abba Kyari all the time. We need to go beyond him so that we can deal with the fundamental problems that face the police.
Let me take this to you, Paul. A lot of, fundamental issues that he raised. But this is something, when you begin to praise someone, oh, he's been doing fantastically well, he's been achieving this, he's been achieving that, and something, a dent just, comes out just like a pin and busts your bubble. when do you think we can begin to be seeing that, yes, this is the police that we want to see? This is the, the ideal police, reform that we should have, so that we'll have the best of policing in this country?
First of all, the fact that you got to hear about Abba Kyari's, you just got to hear about his alleged misdeed, okay, does not mean that he just started doing it, okay? It's something that has been recurring. And like he said, and Ini said, Abba Kyari is only a manifestation of the rot. From the lowest level of the police to the top level, you have that rot. I've gone to the police station before. I've gone to the police station where I lodged the report of a missing relative. From the desk, the woman who was there, she wanted to make me, of course. I was angry. The only reason why I went through with it was I was just thinking, they could say, okay, if you can find her yourself, why did you come here? So
if you can find the person,
why did you come to this? Why did you come here?
Probably because you were restive. You were not maybe.
Of course, if your relative is missing and you've done your best, you have to go to the police. It's a normal thing. I went to the police. They're asking for this. We need money for signal. We need money for radio. You have to pay the transport of the high PO to go do investigation. We need money to open a file. They needed money for everything. You understand? And I had to make efforts. We had to start announcing on social media. We had to start using radio stations. They still did not help us do anything. The person that was missing surfaced. She found herself somewhere, and then she called her daughter, and then she came home. And then when I told the high PO, I said, look, he said, it's our effort. I was angry. They come back and close the file. Close what? I didn't go back to her. I was angry. I just left it. I just allowed it to slide. The truth of the matter is we must get serious with our police. The police, the rot in the police is a reflection of our society. We need to know the people we are recruiting to the police. From the recruitment to the training, everything. It has to be, we have to look at it, we have to overhaul it, we have to rethink our police. We have to totally come back and start rethinking the police. How should we best position our police to make it a service and not a force? Just go around the street, you see policemen milking even Okada riders.
Well, I don't know how it exactly operates in the US, but we know that they've also got police issues, where you saw the issue of the George Floyd, you saw the way things are.
But then you have punishments. It happens. Look, human beings, there are beasts everywhere. But when it happens in some of those places, you see the noise. You hear the noise people are making. You hear of. There was one that happened in 2019. The video resurfaced again. A policewoman. It was a policewoman. She killed the brother of a particular gentleman. She even claimed that she thought that it was her apartment, and she killed the person. And then in court, she was sentenced to 10 years. Even though the brother of the person she killed was saying, okay, I forgive you, give your life to Christ, and all of that, fine. But that would not stop the
justice been done.
Yes, exactly.
All right, we've got Mustafa from Owerri, who is joining us on the program. Mustafa, please make your point count. Mustafa, are you there? Mustafa from Owerri, are you there? Well, I'm afraid. Mustafa, can you hear me? All right, I'm afraid we really can't hear you, clearly. Do we still have Mr. Inibe Effiong there? Right. So let's put pay to this matter, with you, right here. In a fortnight's time, that's 2 weeks' time, do you expect something, tangible as required to be done? I mean, to be seen, coming out of this investigation?
For me, the best approach in this circumstance is for us to wait and see. I'm telling you, because if I tell you that as I sit here, as I'm talking to you, that I'm confident that the right thing is going to be done, that might be a case of exaggerated optimism. The reality that is facing us is that I want us to leave this discussion with one clear understanding, which is that what we are talking about, the Abba Kyari's case, is only a microcosm. It is only a symptom of the rot, the decay, and the flaw in the police. As a lawyer, I write petitions for clients who are being defrauded to the police every day. If you don't pay the police, they call it mobilization. They don't do any investigation. I'm telling you, they don't. Even in cases of murder, even in cases of rape, the police does not investigate anything if they don't extort money from you. But what I want Nigerians to be demand is that because Abba Kyari's case has been exposed, his case must be used to set the precedent that this kind of conduct must not be accepted. If at the end of the so-called investigation, they say, or the AGF claim, because the Attorney General has prosecutorial discretion to say, I want to prosecute, or I don't want to prosecute. If at the end of the day, the AGF or the police, whoever says they don't have evidence beyond reasonable doubt, we must, at a minimum, demand his dismissal on the basis of ethics, on the basis of his conduct as a police officer, which was clearly beyond bar, clearly indefensible. But I am also saying that this is also an opportunity for the president of Nigeria to feel scandalized. Nobody can reform the police in Nigeria except the president. It is that bad. Why? Because every IG that comes into office will tell you we are dissolving all checkpoints, dismantling all checkpoints. We are withdrawing policemen from VIPs. Has that ever been implemented in this country? The answer is no. They will tell you that bail is free. There is no police station in Nigeria that people are not extorted for bail. What I'm telling you is that this decay has become so terrible, so pervasive, that it will only take the president and the National Assembly, and lastly the judiciary, to reform the police. So if the president is not interested in police reform, nothing will come out of this. But Abba Kyari must not, for whatever it is worth, be allowed to return to the police. Because that will only have further ridicule Nigeria before the international community. The US is watching. They know what happened. We can pretend to be deceiving ourselves in Nigeria. The international community is aware of the facts. The facts are already in the public domain. They cannot twist it. The relationship between Hushpuppi and Abba Kyari is one that Nigeria must not give approval to. And if you do not approve of that relationship, then you must punish him severely, so that other officers can see it as a form of deterrence and not repeat this kind of reprehensible conduct.
We'll definitely keep close tabs on this issue as it develops, and bring the topic here. Every time we always talk about what is trending, happening in Nigeria, and this will not be the last. Legal practitioner Inibe Effiong, thank you so much for sharing that beautiful insights with us.
Thank you.
We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you, and remember this. Bye-bye. See you again.